let us see whether gases can dissolve in water. Some gases like oxygen dissolve in water, which is very important for the survival of animals and plants that live in water. You might have seen motors used in aquarium. It is to pump oxygen or air into the water, so that the fish in the aquarium get the sufficient amount of oxygen. Now, let us discuss about another property called density. Let us do an experiment now. Let us take a beaker full of water and let us add iron nail, chalk piece, paper board and a ball into that. What do you see? You see that iron nail and chalk piece that sinks, whereas paper board and ball that float on water. Why do iron nail and chalk piece sink into the water? The reason is very simple. The density of these materials are higher than that of water. Now, what about the paper board and ball? It floats on the surface of water. Why? Because the density of these materials are lesser than that of water. So, when you drop an object into the water, if the density of the object is greater than that of water, it will sink. If the density of the object is less than that of water, what happens? It floats on water. Now, let us revise the experiment that we have done. See, if you mix oil with water, you can see the oil lying on the top layer of water. How do you compare the densities of oil and water? Which has more density? Yes, water has more density and oil has less density than water. That is why oil floats on the surface of water. Now, let us discuss about another important property called transparency. Let us do an activity. I have taken a wooden piece. Now, tell me, can you see my face? No, you cannot see my face. Why? Because the wooden plank or the wooden piece that does not allow the light to pass through them. So, these type of materials are called opaque materials. So, opaque materials do not allow the light to pass through them. Can you give some examples? A wooden piece that is opaque. What about the walls in your house or in your schools? They are opaque. Why? Because you cannot see what is going on the other side of the wall, isn't it? So, they are opaque. Now, let us do another activity. Now, I have taken a piece of glass. Can you see my face through glass? Yes, you can see my face. Why? Because this glass piece allow the light to pass through it. It is because of this reason in bakeries and sweet shops, sweets are placed in a glass almirah. Now, let us do one more experiment. Now, I have taken an oiled paper. Can you see clearly? No, you are not able to see. Why? Because this oiled paper does not allow the light to pass through it completely. It allows only some light to pass through it. That is why you can see some faded figure, isn't it? So, depending on the nature of light pass through an object, objects can be classified as opaque, transparent and translucent. Opaque means the materials that do not allow the light to pass through them. What about transparent? Transparent materials allow the light to pass through them completely. What about translucent? Translucent materials allow the light to pass through them only partially. So far we have discussed about different properties of materials.